go.
At Irish Life Health, we do health insurance, but not as you know it. Like our benefit plan, which gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits, like sports clubs, such as your local GAA club, dietitians, and fitness wearables. Helping you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Search Irish Life Health.
Hello and welcome to the Irish Life Health National Indoor Arena here. This event is a micro meet. The athletes are real sized, but it is a micro meet. There are only going to be 2 athletes in the women's 200 meters here. Welcome back to Live Athletics here. It's been a difficult year, I suppose, for a lot of people. And our athletes here are certainly having a difficult season so far. It's going to be the first race of the season for most athletes. The 2 athletes on the line, Sarah McCarthy and Catherine McManus here in the women's 200 meters. A lot of athletes have been travelling across Europe, running in a few different meets, but also for quite a few athletes, this is the first race of the season. So out in the outer lanes, so this 200 metres here, not a European indoor qualifying event. It's not a race that will take place at the European indoors due to the advantage of running in the outer lanes. In lane 5, we have Sarah McCarthy of Mid Sutton AC there in the white with the navy shorts. And on the outside, we have Catherine McManus in the blue of Dublin City Harriers out there in lane 6. So Catherine McManus has ran 24:01 outdoors, but has an indoor PB of 24:23. And Sarah McCarthy has ran 23:95 indoors. So these 2 athletes well matched. Should be a crack of a race. Sarah McCarthy, an athlete who is multi-talented, as is Catherine McManus, running over 400 metres, 60 and the hurdles over the years. But Sarah McCarthy, an athlete who's has won 3 national titles, has ran 23:95. Her indoor PB is faster than her outdoor PB, better known as a heptathlete over the years and a pentathlete. As a range of very impressive PBs, certainly in the long jump. Another one that she tends to star in, 6:33 outdoors, 6:12 indoors. Very impressive athlete over a range of disciplines. See some athletes on the line here. Said it is a micro meet. We have very few athletes here today. I said 2 athletes on the line here, 1 in the shot put later on, so you can get the theme of the day. Very few officials here as well. And as you can tell by the fact that it's only me talking, it is just me. No Cathal, no Ger, no Phelim. You've got the runt of the litter. McCarthy there in the white there in lane 5. McManus in lane 6. So into their blocks on their marks. The silence is drowning out the stadium here. And off very, very quickly, Sarah McCarthy there in lane 5, but going well on the outside is McManus. McCarthy is starting to eke out that gap on her there just on the inside. We'll learn a little bit more as the stagger unwinds here around this bend, but McManus struggling a little bit up that hill. McCarthy, long striding athlete there, coming into the home straight, chasing down McManus. McCarthy into the home straight. She is storming away, starting to struggle a little bit there in the last few meters as her shoulders were getting up towards her ears there a little bit over the last couple of meters. Not as relaxed maybe as she might have hoped. We don't have a time on that right now. Hopefully we'll get it up fairly quickly on our results page here. So if you are looking for results as well, you can check out live.athleticsIreland.ie as the officials, a little bit of a clap here. You can tell everyone is a little bit, I suppose, nervous and not wanting to, I suppose, treat this as a normal day. But Sarah McCarthy, 24:68, so well outside her PB there. We're going to see a quick replay of the last, well, we could probably show it several times. There's quite a short timetable today in terms of races, but long pauses in between. As I said, national indoor record 23:10 from Phil Healy in 2020. You're never going to be under pressure there, but McCarthy, you see, starting to struggle a little bit there. That left hand struggling as she started to go over that last 30-40 metres. McManus 24:98 for her. At the season leader, Irish leader, is Davisha Patterson 24:38. So don't think Sarah McCarthy was going to be, might be too far away. But as I said, we'll hopefully get some results there for you now very quickly. As we seem to be just showing the second placer here. We can assume that Sarah McCarthy was faster than 24:98. That's all the information I have for you right now. That's all I got. I said Phil Healy's national record of 23:10. She goes into 400 metres tomorrow. I'd like to say I know the timetable off by heart, but I don't. I'd like to say I put preparation in, but I didn't. You know, but yes, as I said, very, very quiet here. The officials starting to clap there when those athletes went over the line. It was, if a race takes place and nobody is there to applaud, does the race even take place? Here's your timetable. Men's 200 metres is going to be up in a moment. Leon Reid, Marcus Lawler and Mark Smith going in that one, and then a high jump followed by a couple of hurdles and 3Ks, 1500 metres later in the day. So plenty of action here till 6 o'clock. So plenty of action to come throughout the day. So in your next race, you see Leon Reid, Marcus Lawler and Mark Smith. They'll be on in a few moments. So see those athletes warming up. Would say in the backfield, but there are no fields. I do remember when this was all fields, though. Not so long ago here in the National Indoor Arena. Very impressive arena that we're in here today. See high jumpers warming up there as well. Still no results on that 200 metres. For those of you who are at home wondering, what was that result? That's all I need to know. It's what I need to know in life. No result. So that men's high jump and women's high jump will be taking place at the same time as each other. One after the other. Jordan Lee and David Cusson in the men's high jump, and Summer Leckie and Aoife O'Sullivan in the women's high jump. Summer Leckie probably with the hopefully be our first qualifier of the day in terms of European standards. So you can check out those European standards on Athletics Ireland page. So we've quite a few people already qualified for that across the board, mainly in the distance events at the moment, such as the 1500 metres where 4 athletes qualified or have ran the qualification standard. Correct myself, women's 800 metres, another one with 3 athletes have ran under the qualification standard. So really, really high quality fields here. Leon Reid, who we're going to see in this 200 metres shortly, also an athlete who has ran a qualifying time for the 60 metres. He ran that in 2018. So plenty of athletes going to be in the mix on this one. I said Summer Leckie, she has to jump a European under-23 standard of 190. Sorry, my apologies. She holds the Irish under-23 and under-20 records at 190. She has to jump 181 indoors or out to make the European under-23 championships if they are to take place this summer. She has jumped 186 indoor in the past, so hopefully we'll see her qualify for the European under-23s. So even if they don't take place, it's still good to get the qualification standards and ensure that you're kept on the AI books, as it were. Just like today when we'll do such a bad job that we'll be kicked off the AI books. No doubt. So they've decided to pump in some Linkin Park to make, to really bring a cheery atmosphere to this this AI micro meet. It's not cheery at all. And we're going to show a quick ad here from Irish Life Health, just while we're waiting for the men's 200 metres to start.
At Irish Life Health, we do health insurance, but not as you know it. Like our benefit plan, which gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits, like sports clubs, such as your local GAA club, dietitians, and fitness wearables. Helping you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Search Irish Life Health.
And we're back again from that unnecessarily short ad. I was just commenting on the fact that it's going to be a long day of just me talking to myself. It's just like being in school at the moment, teaching, talking to yourself, and nobody actually listening. So I'm not going to make you take down any notes, but you may just hear me rambling to myself. So you can tweet us in at Irish Athletics as well. I'm sure somebody will get your complaints to me. None of your compliments, but your complaints will surely arrive, no doubt. That men's 200 metres up very, very shortly. Going to be an exciting race. Leon Reid and Mark Smith and Marcus Lawler. Those guys are pretty fast. There's Marcus. He's hanging around there on in the call area. So I got absolutely, well, I don't know, was I mugged off really on the win, but as I was walking in, I was sent down towards the athletes call entrance, which I was quite happy with. You know, just said to myself, hey, I still got it. The N-Trade chumps here were sent straight through. They were like, oh, you're working here, are you? Yeah, you go through there. Yeah. Whereas I got that, that guy could be in shape. He looks all right. You go down there. But it did mean I had to walk all the way around the one-way system here until I met Georgina Drum. It was like someone who travelled through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights by the time I met Georgina. It was a broken man, and she said, you go through there. And shortly after that, I was up here in the podium area. Or what would you call this area, Dave? I need some help here. Yeah? The roof? Yeah, we're up on the roof, up in the gods here. There is a term for it. Gantry. We're in the gantry. You'd miss Cathal Dennehy, Irish Sports Journalist of the Year 2019. He rarely lets you say his name without obviously adding that to it. He's not here today. He's been snapped up by some big fish, and he's left us to our own devices here. But as I said, Marcus Lawler going to be this one. World University Games bronze medalist. That's pretty decent. 6 national titles, and he has ran in the past indoors 2092 and outdoors 2040 down in Cork in 2018. So just last year they earned that 2092 here on the 9th of February. So he is in good shape over the last 12 months. He will be in the mix. Said Leon Reid in that one as well. Another multiple European age group medalist. And of course, Mark Smith, the breakout star of 2020. There is Marcus Lawler. He may be wearing green, but he's not green in this environment. He's many years back to 2010 or so when he kind of came on the scene as a schoolboy, and has broken 7 for 60 meters for the last 7 years, which is pretty damn impressive, including this year in Vienna, Austria, where he ran 6:87. So he's in good nick, and on his latest result, no 200 meters indoor or out. Sorry, there is 21:24 from Vienna as well on the same day. So that's pretty quick. 21:24. He is in good nick. Is Marcus Lawler. As I struggle through my hastily prepared notes. And obviously this 200 meters no standard here for the guys in this one. They cannot run this at the meet at the European Indoors taking place in Two Run, the wonderfully named Two Run. I know that a Putz is a form of Christmas market in Germany, so that's the closest thing I can get to Two Run in terms of a properly named villages or towns. There's nothing about jumping. That's, or as far as I know, I didn't put that much research in. This men's 200 are very evenly matched. Mark Smith 21:04, Leon Reid 21:08, and Marcus Lawler at 21:92. See Leon Reid there, just in lane 5, the Monapians man, and you have Marcus Lawler there, just going up to lane 6 there in the kind of all green strip. not of St. Lawrence O'Toole's, but that is his club. Said Mark Smith, won national title to his name, a 21:04 here last year indoor, so recent history. He is pretty quick, but yet to compete this season. The Raheny man, former St. Vincent's schoolboy. Well, I suppose you're always a St. Vincent's schoolboy, Vincent's for life, Mark Smith might say. But an athlete coached by Kay Bannon over the years, and down there in Raheny. Leon Reid there, centre of your shot, European under-23 silver medalist in 2015 and a junior silver medalist in 2013. He's won 8 national titles. He is pretty fast. He's ran 6:72 back in 2018 for the 200 metres. Last year, 10:46 was his best over 100 metres, but he has ran 10:26 windy and 10:33 back in the past over 100 metres outdoors. And of course, more specifically here for the indoors, 21:42 in 2019, 21:08 in 2017. So it was a bit of a nadir there for Leon Reid. And I said last year, 21:08 outdoors, but that was at altitude in Bloemfontein, South Africa, in around this time last year. So an athlete who will certainly be hoping to break 21 seconds for 200 metres. You can see those athletes warming up there in the back straight. These guys are pretty rapid, as they should be. You know, they're sprinters. It's kind of part of the deal. National record, of course, Paul Brazil, 2003, famously ran into that camera at the Olympics in 2004, and he had to rerun his race in the Olympics on his own. You know, very unfortunate. But 2075, so these athletes will be a little bit off that. Marcus is pretty close, in fairness, 2092 in the grand scheme of things. 21:24 is the season lead of Marcus Lawler, so the only athlete in the field to have raced thus far, or to have raced according to our records. That is he out there in lane 6. So fastest personal best and fastest season's best to the Carlow man. Leon Reid there in lane 5 will be chasing Marcus down. Marcus has that little bit of an advantage of being in lane 6, as you can come down that hill off the final bend. That's why they don't run it over in the European indoors or world indoors anymore. But the other athletes, Mark Smith and Leon Reid, will have the advantage of trying to chase Marcus down. So Mark Smith in the green and white of Raheny, doing a few hill reps there in St. Anne's Park on the north side of Dublin. He's at training base. It's going to be hard for these athletes as well over the last couple of months of training, attempting to get their races, or sorry, their training in to a high level with all the restrictions. So it's incredible that these athletes are still running such fast times over the last couple of weeks on the continent. So we're still waiting on a result from that women's 100 metres earlier on. It seems to stay a mystery to us. No idea. We know that Sarah McCarthy won it, and we know that Catherine McManus was second. So we're on about to get onto the line. We're being called back there. They're taking a few moments. Yeah, a bit of confusion here. I think they're deciding which way they want to run. The host city of the European indoors. See, we can work that in all the time. All venues should have puns, be pun worthy, in my personal opinion. Mark Smith, Leon Reid, Marcus Lawler. Smith in the white of Raheny. Leon Reid in the red and black of Monapians. And Marcus Lawler out there in lane 6, the Carlow man. Dressed in green. Green means go. Into their blocks. And out very strongly there in the outside lane. It is Marcus Lawler, but Reid already seems like he's edging that gap a little bit. Smith running with long strides down the back straight. The tall athlete from Raheny, but Leon Reid looks to be in the lead at the moment as he come around off the bend. Will Marcus Lawler kick off that hill a little bit there? Absolutely neck and neck here all the way to the line, but Reid looks like he has it. It is Reid of Benapians with the win. Lawler second and Smith in third. So upsetting the seedings there a little bit as a clap rings out around the stadium. It was a fantastic race. Absolutely brilliant there from Reid in that lane, that kind of a inferior lane 5 to Marcus Lawler's lane 6 there. But you did have Lawler 2 chase down, so looks like 20.96. Just cop that there as we were rolling. We're going to show you a quick replay of that. That is one of the fastest times in Ireland in a good few years since Marcus Lawler. That's very impressive from Leon Reid. Of course, a personal best for Leon Reid as well. As you can see here, coming off that bend, you would expect Marcus Lawler to kick on there, but Reid absolutely storming down the home straight, striding out really strongly, and making, as I said, a fool of those seedings there. Reid looking very, very strong. 20.96, I think I called out to there 2 seconds ago. That is by far and away a personal best for him over the indoor 200 meter distance. He ran 21.08 back in 2017, so that's certainly an impressive run from Leon Reid. Fair play to him. And his outdoor personal best, as I said, is a significantly quicker 20.27 from Birmingham 2018, but certainly not too far away. He'll be very, very happy with that. Up next is the high jump, which will be coming our way very shortly. Got some warming up there. That's Jordan Lee, Paralympian. And we have, I think it's Killarney Main Valley is his club. I'm going to be wrong on that one. Yes, Killarney Valley. Sorry, AC. This is Liscarroll's own Aoife O'Sullivan. She's jumped 174, but Summer Leckie will also be in this one. The Finn Valley athlete 186 indoors. It's over that European under 23 standard, and of course we have David Cusson in that one as well from Old Abbey AC. He's jumped 210 in the past. A little bit off that standard of two. As I rustle in my notes here, 2:28 for the indoors, the European indoors. So fair bit off that, but you never know. So we're going to take a few moments there before we get the high jump underway. And we'll bring it back with that high jump, and that'll be followed then by those 60-meter hurdles, where we'll see Ger O'Donnell in the men's coming up very, very shortly. And in that women's, a fantastic field of Sarah Lavin and Kate O'Connor. Sarah Lavin has ran under that European indoor standard, and Ger O'Donnell will be hoping to. He's taking on Matthew Bean, who won the outdoor 400-meter hurdles title last year in such style, and a shock win. But he will be taking on Ger O'Donnell, who's never beaten. And Ger O'Donnell is now, I think, achieving the ripe old age of 54, I think, at this stage. He is very old. And he's won 85 national titles. Yep. Been competing since the original Olympics in 1896. The original modern Olympics. I mean, let's not be ridiculous. So we'll be back to you shortly when we get this high jump underway.
At Irish Life Health, we do health insurance, but not as you know it. Like our benefit plan, which gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits, like sports clubs, such as your local GAA club, dietitians, and fitness wearables. Helping you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Search Irish Life Health. At Irish Life
And we're back. Apologies for the delay. We were just down talking to Leon Reid, who ran a smashing PB there, sub 21 seconds for the first time. And he's coming back tomorrow, hopefully, to run under 6:70. Summer Leckie, just as you can see there in the left-hand side of the shot, this is her first jump. Aoife O'Sullivan has gone over 160. Everyone was over 160 so far. Summer Leckie of Finn Valley. She's jumped 186 indoors in the past. 181 is the European qualifying standard for the under 23 championships, so she'll be hoping to crack that. Gone over 170, sailed over it absolutely no problem, as you would expect for a lady of her talent. Said Aoife O'Sullivan of Liscarroll in this one as well. And then in the men's category you have David Cusson and Jordan Lee. Jordan Lee, of course, jumped 190 indoors, and David Cusson has jumped 210 indoors. Indoor PBs tend to actually be pretty decent in the high jump due to lack of wind, so they're normally pretty close to the outdoor PBs as well. Doesn't have as much of an effect as other events. Said Summer Leckie World Junior silver medalist in 2018, so 3 years ago now. 6 national titles in the bank for her, an under 23 record and under 20 record with her 190 in Tampere in 2018. So very impressive athlete here. But Aoife O'Sullivan of Liscarroll is now on the runway. They're in the green of Liscarroll. North Cork. She's just clipped that one with her heels just on the way over it. That's at one. You're going to spin that. I think it's 162, I think. It will not be spun. Oh, it is spun. 170, apologies. We're at 170, so getting up towards the heights that Aoife O'Sullivan has got to before, so she'll probably struggle a little bit now from here on out. That was a first time failure at that height. Just getting a few texts in from Carl Dennehy, Irish Sports Journalist of the Year 2019, as he is known. That she got his name legally changed to that. And he is hassling me over, it was 2002, the Europeans that Paul Brazil had that camera incident, not in 03. Apologies. Carl, he was of like a reasonable age, Carl, at that time, whereas I was but a child, so that's fair enough. And also, we should have known this before that race, but Marcus Lawler and his incredibly quick start. We're talking to Leon Reid, which you'll see in the interview later on, and he talks about Marcus getting out really quickly and that he was hoping to chase Marcus over that first couple of metres. And Marcus has been training once a week with Dean Adams this winter, the king of starts, to try and improve his start. So perhaps Leon Reid, who won that in a personal best, didn't know that about Marcus Lawler and his current rapid start. Here is Aoife O'Sullivan though. She's her personal best at 178 outdoors in Templemore back in 2019, 9th of June. I'd said it was in the National League, and 174 indoors. So she's getting close to that. This is a second time attempt. Just clipped that with her calves there on the way over. So one more attempt for the North Cork athlete. As we had a very strange sensation there. I think it was some sort of wind or maybe giant tarantulas on the roof of the National Indoor Arena. I'd like to see the building regulations here. How well built was this? When was this built? It's probably full of pyrite. And we'll probably suddenly see cracks in the stadium. But for those of you who couldn't hear it, it was a very disturbing noise on the roof. So, Summer Leckie said sailed over at 170. Aoife O'Sullivan taking a few moments there. As you can see, we're going to be a few moments before she gets ready. This is quite difficult for these athletes. Normally they'd have maybe 5 or 6 athletes before them, time to get their head together and to cool down a little bit before they were to get back up again. But very strange situation here where the athletes are pretty much straight up after their first, if they fail the jump, they are going to be back up again a few moments later. So probably an experience they haven't had too often. I know they would have it at the end of a competition, but certainly not this early in the competition would they be in a situation where they're having to jump one after themselves, a jump after their own jump again. It's very strange for them. Here is Aoife O'Sullivan, third attempt. Should be happy with second place in this, of 2, of course. And for those asking, there is a clock, on 1 clock in the arena here. It's just about the finish. Here is Aoife O'Sullivan, and she sailed over that one. As you often see on that third attempt, the adrenaline is rushing, and they just sneak over. So that was a third round attempt for Aoife O'Sullivan, 170, and she's got over. We're going to see a quick replay of that. You can see there she strides up, last chance saloon, and over it, and absolutely delighted with that one. So great sensation there to get herself over that and into the clear, into the next round. Obviously, she would be no Summer Leckie. Well, these two have been competing for national titles over the last year or two, and she'll be absolutely delighted with that one. And the high jump athletes tend to all get on quite well. They're all bound by this event. See Jordan Lee and David Custon in the men in the background there. Here is Summer Leckie, said World Junior Silver Medalist 2018. Just there on the centre of your shot there in the yellow spikes, the Finn Valley AC athlete. By far and away, the class of this field is Summer Leckie. See there, she's got a strapping around her knee. And over it with absolute ease at 175 there. So first attempt for Leckie, 175. So a 20-year-old athlete is Summer Leckie. So in 2015 she got over 180. So at the mere 15 years of age, sailed over that height, no problem. Personal best 2018 or 2015, sorry, of 180, but has gone to 190 2 years later in Tampere in Finland. The Finn Valley athlete, World Junior Silver Medalist, 6 national titles to her name. And Aoife O'Sullivan. Run their indoor PB, how did it feel?
Yeah, no, it was good. My game plan was to catch Marcus in the first 2 steps, and that went completely out the window. He went off like a rocket, and I was like, sugar, what's going to happen now? So then he kicked again going into the bend, and I've got to like kind of change my stride when I get into that bend. So I was still kind of worried, and then I was on the top bend, and I was thinking, this is for the Olympics, this is for the Olympics. And then I was able to come off the bend and really lift my knees and go.
Yeah, you were saying beforehand there that you kind of struggled a little bit indoors. You didn't look like you struggled today. How has the coronavirus affected, I suppose, your ability to train to this level? Because it's PB
well, luckily
performance
I
today.
haven't had it, touch wood. But it's pretty tricky, obviously, when you're like moving around country-wise. Most people know at home that I travel quite a lot. So say I go home now, I've got to quarantine again for 5 days, and that's 5 days training gone. And then I'm going away to Madrid. Then I've got to come back, and that's 5 days again. So it doesn't sound like much, but like that's 10 days gone. That's a quarter of the month. So it's more just like trying to get through it and really just keep your head on it and just roll with the punches. That's the biggest thing. People saying there's not races, you can't do this, can't do that, but if you get worried about it, it's just going to kill you. So
exactly, yeah, you're getting it done certainly there. You're coming out again tomorrow in the 60 metres. You've got the qualifying standard for that, 6:72. Yeah. Is that something you're focusing on now, or is it 200 metres?
Yeah, no, definitely the 60 metres. I've got a new block start, like I said before. I just want to really hit that hard and really give it a good go, because when I do the 200 and stuff, I usually run for about 60 metres, then I stand up, then I can go. But in the 60, I can't do that. Like last week, I did a 60 and I did my drive phase 40 metres. Then I stood up and there was 6 steps left to the race, and I was like, oh, it's too late, it's done then. So tomorrow should be a lot better. So
we want it on the record now for tomorrow, sub 670. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah. That's why I came here. That's why I've been stuck in a hotel all week. So definitely on the cards.
Good to hear. Thanks very much, Liam. Best of luck
Cheers,
tomorrow.
guys. Thank you. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you. So we're back here with the high jump. Aoife O'Sullivan with a first round failure at that 175. Summer Leckie straight over that 175 with the first round clearance. So O'Sullivan having to go through this all again. This would be an indoor personal best for her. And that 178 is her outdoor personal best. So she's just getting up here for this second attempt. Jordan Lee to come later alongside David Cusson. So Lee will get into a little bit more later on, but very, very interesting character, great story. This is O'Sullivan, though, hoping to write a story of her own. Just a little bit of practice, visualization here beforehand. So I said, very, very difficult for these athletes here, having to go straight into a jump again. Aoife O'Sullivan must feel that she's been the only athlete jumping for the last 10 minutes or so. The green of Liscarroll. It's great to have this meet on for these athletes. A lot of these athletes wouldn't have competed since last summer, and even then in a limited capacity. So O'Sullivan on the tartan here. Oh, not too far away from that one at all. She kind of seemed to take off a little bit early and land on the bar a little bit, but certainly has the height. But look, what do I know? I know nothing about the high jump. I'm not even going to lie. But I do know she has one more attempt. She's a clutch jumper, got over that 170 on the third attempt. This could be a little bit beyond her. Would be an indoor personal best for Aoife O'Sullivan. So she has to go through there's Summer Leckie, the World Junior Silver Medalist. Have a little chat with Aoife O'Sullivan. And Jordan Lee and David Custon there in the background. Lovely day out for the lads. You know, probably haven't talked to anyone in months. So a lot of these athletes obviously would be meeting each other quite regularly at races and at events, and haven't been able to in the last 12 months. See Jordan Lee there in the background. It's a very, very interesting story with Jordan Lee. See there, he's a Paralympian, and there's a wonderful article in the Irish Independent there recently by Carl Denny, Irish Sports Journalist of the Year, and goes through his whole ordeal, I suppose, as a youngster in terms of dealing with his issues, and going to basketball for the first time, and people pointing and staring at him, and him having the drive and the focus to actually become a under 15 international in basketball. As you can see, it was quite difficult in the circumstances, but certainly a determined young man, and someone that loves to prove people wrong. And then at the age of I think 16 or 17, moved into high jumping then, and was ranked second in the world in his category. European para medalist. But here we have Aoife O'Sullivan, known as the last attempt here. 175 would be an indoor personal best. Last chance saloon here for the Liscarroll athlete. Reaching up there, hoping to reach for the stars here. Reach for that personal best indoors. 178 is her overall personal best, and the outdoor, she's up against it today, and against the likes of Summer Leckie. Just striding in. Doesn't look like she had much speed coming into that. You can see it's going to be very tiring for these jumpers here, or for Aoife Sullivan in particular, as she's had 6 jumps there within the last few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, which must be tiring on the legs. So I think if you're not getting over it first time, it is going to be difficult to maintain there. A lot of these athletes would, as I said, get a lot more time in between jumps if you had a full field. But Aoife O'Sullivan here, you can see coming in a little bit slowly and taking off probably a touch too soon, catching it just there with her calves as she goes over. So that was Aoife O'Sullivan's last attempt at 175, and we have Summer Leckie now will surely be going for 180 indoors. So she's been clearing this height since 2016, knocking out those national under 20 records, and last year cleared 181 indoors. As I said, the qualifying standard for that European indoors in the high jump is as I struggle with my notes, is only a 181. So if she hits the heights she hit last year, 181, we're on 180 here now, she will get that European indoor standard. Sorry, my apologies, the European under 23 standard. The European indoor standard is, of course, 196, which would be a massive personal best. So just clipping that on the way over. I said 181 is the European under 23 standard if that was to take place this year. So she's pretty close to that. That was a pretty good attempt, but just, I suppose, slightly off her best there. Very close to her indoor personal best, 186. Here is Jordan Lee. We mentioned him earlier. The Kerry athlete. He's been splitting his training over the last 12 months as he strides up here and over that with ease, I have to say. Very, very quick athlete. As that he is attempting to make the Paralympics this summer in Tokyo, splitting his training in Killarney and the track in Castle Island. He's taken a full year out this year ahead of Tokyo, of his health and leisure degree in IT Tralee. An athlete who's spent a long time proving people wrong in basketball, an Irish international under 15 in basketball, and now a top class elite high jumper here in both Paralympics and the Olympic fashion as well. He's personal best, by the way, over in 2019 went from 155 to 184 in 4 months. So he is a pretty hard worker as well. Coached, of course, by Thomas Griffin there, who's a local athlete down in Killarney. So a great team they have had over the last couple of years. So multi-sport international is always great to see. Summer Leckie, though, world junior silver medalist. Just getting up to the second attempt here at 180. She's just watched Jordan Lee go straight over it. So she'll be hoping to do the same. Of course, 60-meter hurdles being put out on track here as well. That's come up in the mid-afternoon. The timetable is a little bit odd today. You've a fair bit of distance between the events for obvious reasons. So Leckie on the runway here on the apron. Just seemed to catch that almost with her shoulder on the way up. So it seems a little bit tight here indoors, just on this apron here. Maybe just from the angle we're at, but it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount of room for the athletes to come in from that left-hand side. We'll hopefully get a replay of that now in a moment and just try and figure out with my extremely, and I mean extremely limited capabilities here. She's coming in quite well and catching it with the kind of scapular area there, the upper side of her back there she went over. And it seemed to be more kind of on the way up than on the way down. So maybe just changing her mark very, very slightly. She'll be hoping to get over this one. Third attempt at 180. 181, as I said, is the European under 23 standard. So something that she'll be trying to get hold of it, will be a national record as well. The 190 is our national record, under 23s. Indoor national under 23 record, I don't think I have for you. But a talented athlete here, hoping to get back to her best into the 180s and perhaps even the 190 as well over time. Deirdre Ryan, of course, national record holder, 196 in Berlin. So what's very difficult here is the athletes are having to very quickly jump again if they do fail at that height. We'll take a moment here now while we're waiting for Summer Leckie. I said it's very, very difficult. She's going to have to go and jump again now within a minute or two. As I said, Jordan Lee hasn't actually competed at the Paralympics yet, but he is chasing that dream this summer in Tokyo. He's already gone over at 180 here. And Summer Leckie is hoping to do the same on her third attempt. Finn Valley AC athlete. So Leckie on the runway, last chance saloon for Leckie. Will she get over at this 180 height? It's going to be difficult, there's no doubt about that. She hasn't, I wouldn't say her first two attempts were too close to making it over. Indoor personal best of 186 in 2018. And a fantastic year. And a much better jump, much better jump, but unfortunately Leckie is also out with a clearance at 175. And then 3 failures at 180. I think that was a hell of a lot closer. You'd almost allow them a few more jumps here because there is nothing else going on. So why not give her a couple of more goes? Here we have a replay. See, gets much further over there, but I think she seems to catch it with her elbow, but definitely had the height there, which is unfortunate. The previous 2 jumps she had definitely kind of caught it on her way up with her shoulder or with her upper back, and that one seemed to catch it almost with her elbow from, as I said, my extremely limited knowledge of the high jump. I know they have to jump over the bar. And also brilliantly for Athletics Ireland here, who, as I said, are hosting this today. You see Jordan Lee there, he's going to go at 186 here. So it is a height that he has jumped in the past. And he just seemed to stumble a little bit there as he was coming in. He comes in very, very sharply there over the last couple of meters. Does Jordan Lee. So we'll see a replay of that there now. See here the Killarney Valley athlete, very, very quick athlete, and comes in very sharply to the centre of the actual mat there. But not a great effort from Lee, but he'll be back, I'm sure. He's said he'd proven many people wrong over his time on this earth, and I'm sure he'll take his 2 more shots at that 186. 190 is his indoor personal best. So he is getting up to the top end of his abilities at the moment. Back for 2 more jumps, and David Cusson there, who's just delighted to be out of the house, I think, for this long, and he hasn't jumped yet. Just keeping himself warm there. As I said, Athletics Ireland doing a great job hosting this event. It's wonderful to give these elite athletes a chance at qualifying for the European Indoors and obviously beyond to the different international competitions that will hopefully all take place this summer. And Athletics Ireland also hosted a couple of high jump workshops. So one of the great things about One of the great things about COVID-19, big fan. No, one of the great things about COVID-19 has been the amount of workshops that have been taking place and run by Athletics Ireland. And as we see, Jordan Lee here, his second attempt at 186. And that was a hell of a lot closer. He was very, very close to that. Just seemed to kind of hit his apex of the jump just slightly before the top of the bar. And then just came down on it then with his calves. We'll see that now in a moment. See here, he's fast athlete in and just clips it with his calves there. He was almost holding himself in the air there for a moment. So it's he's very, very close to getting over that. One more attempt for Jordan Lee. But as I said, Athletics Ireland have been hosting so many different webinars and Zoom workshops over the last 12 months. Fantastic to see over a range of disciplines and distances. And in the last couple of weeks, we've had Stefan Holm and Javier Sotomayor, so the Olympic champ from Athens 2004, Stefan Holm. And also we've had Javier Sotomayor, the world record holder, giving workshops here for our athletes in the high jump, with the elite high jump community in the last couple of weeks. So fantastic work from Athletics Ireland, getting all that knowledge and information in such difficult times to get that information across. And we also have Barry Pender up here, up with us on the gantry. I'm sure he'd be able to give a lot more information. We may go back through all those replays. So Barry would look at his height and say, yeah, I could probably still do that. Yeah, he's not sure. Multiple national champion here, Barry Pender of St. Albans AC, working here for Athletics Ireland today. Jordan Lee, final attempt. Oh, brilliant, fantastic. He's got himself over that one. That I said, the progression in the jumps there over those 3 jumps at 186. Certainly he was improving all the time. That he probably should have got over it on that last jump, but that one there much quicker in. And as you often see on these third attempts, just getting over at their ease on the third attempt after struggling with the first 2. All that adrenaline, that clutch jumping from Jordan Lee here. As it gets over it. He's got a couple of inches to spare, I'd say, on that one as well. But fantastic jump there from Jordan Lee, the Killarney Valley man, the IT Tralee student. And David Cusson is putting on the shoes, finally. And we're going to ask Barry Pender here. Barry, I know you're off camera there, but can you give us a few words just so I can bluff some more high jump, some just random high jump terminology to make give me 5 words that would make a high person think that I know something about the high jump. Running the curve. Okay. Oh, he's really running the curve there. So we're going to give you a little workshop on how to bluff the high jump. That is fantastic. Penultimate stride. That's very hard to say, though. I don't know if I'll be able to say that. Penultimate. Anything else, Barry? Excellent lift. Yeah. I threw apex in there a minute ago. You'd be proud of me. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, right. So when you hear those, you know I'm bluffing. I have no idea what any of that means, but I know that, Jordan Lee, he really ran the curve well there. Great lift and a fantastic penultimate stride. Really hit the apex of his jump. See, anyone can do it. You can do it at home. So this high jump condition's hotting up now. We're getting to 192. David Custon's gone, all right, okay, I'll get involved. Put the shoes on. But even still, he's looking very relaxed. Maybe Barry Pender, he's just leaving us here now. I don't know, he looks like he's got shorts on, he don't know those jeans. Maybe he's entering this competition as well. I'll just check the entry list. He'll go down and get himself involved here. Get a quick warm up, yeah. So here goes Lee again, 192. So Lee just coming into that a little bit quick and his stride a little bit off. So he should be able to go again. In fact, he is. So that will not count as an attempt, as he did not break the line of the high jump. So here comes Lee. And you could see very much pushing himself to that height. That would be a personal best, indoor personal best for Lee of 190. He's the previous personal best. So this is certainly at the upper end of his capabilities at the moment. But you could see there that it was very, very vertical. The previous jumps had been a little hop over almost, whereas he was putting a lot of power into that jump to try and get over that 192, over that last penultimate stride there. And Costin, as I said, is very much warming up now, so it'll be exciting to see him go over some of these lower heights for his level. I was mentioning those workshops ran by Athletics Ireland in the last couple of weeks. The interesting thing about that is they were actually put together by Antoine Burke. So for those of a certain vintage, you might remember Antoine Burke. He was a multi-talented athlete. He also won a World Junior silver medal in the high jump in 1994, which ties in nicely here with Summer Leckie and her World Junior silver medal from 2018 in Tampere. So Antoine Burke obviously would know quite a lot of the high jumpers and is an athlete who's ran over many distances and many disciplines and would have good connections in the sport. So he helped organise those workshops in the last couple of weeks. Very interesting character. Antoine Burke said fantastic set of PBs, 46.88 for 400 meters and 51.23 for 4 hurdles. The 2:21 he jumped in Cork in 1994. It was a national under 20 record at the time, and eventually like jumping 7:47 for the high jump as well. So multi-talented athlete, as is Jordan Lee here. Just struggling a little bit. That one, the former international basketball player, hoping to do a Donald Thomas himself and transfer from basketball to athletics with such ease. A great Bahamian athlete, Donald Thomas. But Lee, that was his second attempt. He's one more attempt at that 192 height. You can see here as he comes in, his first jump was very much a vertical strain. That was a hell of a lot better, and he's not too far off that. But it'll take a serious clutch jump here in this third round from Jordan Lee, which he's well capable of. Jump that 192. To say it would be an indoor personal best for Lee. So he won't be far off it. And then obviously David Cusson to come in on that one as well. Then after that we're going to have a little bit of a break, not too long of a break, about 20 minutes or so before we have the hurdles. So there's going to be 2 sets of hurdles races. 60 meter hurdles, series 1, and then those athletes will then come back out again about an hour later after another short break and get involved in that. In the second round of races, so I know Ger O'Donnell and Matthew Bean in the men's, and we have, as I flick back the pages here, we will also have Sarah Lavin and Kate O'Connor in that women's race. So Sarah Lavin already has that European indoor standard of 8:18. And Ger O'Donnell will be hoping to crack that indoor standard as well. He's already ran in the European indoors in the past with a 7:73 performance, and he won't be that far away. Here goes Lee, though. Third round attempt here for Lee. He got through before on the third round, and he's just clipped that with his hamstrings there on the way down. So, I said, it's certainly it would be a personal best attempt for Lee. He's not too far off it, but just not there yet for Lee. And that leaves one man left standing who hasn't even reached it up yet, and that is David Cusson. So Lee there, good performance from him. Here is his final attempt. See there, he's running the curve quite well, and he's well over that height and just clips it with his calf on the way back down. So unfortunate for Lee there, but he knows he has that height for the next competition, which may take place in 2025. Who knows? But Cusson, he's up next. said Behan and O'Donnell in that hurdles later on will be a cracker. Close enough from personal best. The battle many times over the years. Behan has never beaten O'Donnell over those short hurdles distance, but he will have gained a lot of confidence from his 400 metre hurdles triumph last year at the outdoors. And O'Donnell, the elder statesman, won't be fazed by any of this. And the qualifying standard, of course, 780. So O'Donnell has run it in the past. Ran under that in the past. Can he do it again? And of course, the women's Sarah Lavin has ran 8:18, so under that European indoor standard. In the high jump here, 2:28 is the indoor standard for David Cusson. Very bold age of 24. It's his first round attempt here at 2 meters. I don't get out of bed for less than 2 meters. But he did, because he's travelled from Cork. But still, you get the point. Cusson here of Old Abbey. The green and white of Old Abbey. Not too far from Liz Carroll there. From Aoife O'Sullivan, who went out earlier on. Here's Cusson's first attempt. Very tall, springy athlete. And over that with... The word sumptuous. Sumptuous came into my mind there for some unknown reason. That was glorious. It was a tremendous jump there. He made jumping 2 meters, which is taller than 6 foot. It's about 6'2" or 3", I think. So I might go and find your nearest 6'2" or 3" neighbour. Stand 2 meters away from them, of course. And think, can I jump over that man? No, you cannot. Most likely. But Cusson making it look incredibly easy. He's going for 2:10 next. So this incredible ease. Very, very impressive from Cusson. First attempt of the day for him, and a success. Great success. And I said 2:28 is the European indoor standard. It would be a real turn up for the books for him to get that today, but high jump sometimes works like that. The athletes come out of nowhere and have a big performance on the day, take a shot at the standard and sail over it on a first attempt. So Cusson has been around for quite some time now. He's it feels like he's been around for forever, but he is still only 24. He's going for his first attempt here at 2:10, which would, of course, equal his personal best indoors. So Cusson here of Old Abbey on the line. Striding in again purposefully. And over that with absolute ease as well. So equaling his indoor personal best. Incredible jump. He looks in really, really top form here today. Really incredible to see how easy he's making that look. So he looks like he's in good shape. You can see here on the replay, striding in, and seems to take off quite far away from the high jump, and then gets well over it in the end. So that was a really impressive first round attempt there at 2:10. Particularly as you see that David Cusson was actually injured in March last year, so he was actually kind of really happy to have a lockdown and a lack of competitions to give him time to get himself sorted and get the injuries at bay and get some rehab in without the pressure of having to come back and compete in the different events. And he would have been in under 23 last year, so would have had quite a few events and got himself healthy during that lockdown period. And he was training during that time last March on a football pitch, on a local football pitch, and scissor kicking over bamboo sticks back in March and April during the first lockdown 1. So very rustic approach to the sport, which I know his North Cork mate Shane Howard, a long jumper, would have been doing the same on a farm up there in Grange in Fermoy in Rathcormac. And David Cusson, a similarly rustic approach back in last March and April. Scissor kicking over bamboo sticks, and I'd say he was going pretty high, there's no doubt about that. And he went pretty high there, 210, no problem for David Cusson. 215 here now. This is where it's going to start getting a little bit spicy for David Cusson. But he's, as I said, very difficult for these athletes kind of having to go so quickly, one after the other. So he's personal best, of course, 217. Outdoors, that was last year, on the 23rd of August last year in Dublin. The national championships. He's got 3 national titles to his name, the 24-year-old. That was an indoor personal best there. He equalled his indoor personal best which he set last year in Cardiff on the 19th of January. Little did he know then what was coming. Cusson here again, the old Abbey man. Hoping to set an indoor personal best, and he will go close to his outdoor personal best here as well. So this will be a fantastic performance. Hopefully his penultimate stride will be A-OK, and he'll run the curve and get great lift. It's a bit of a hush in the stadium here now. Oh, and he's clipped that, but he's very, very close to that 215. As I said, it would be a massive indoor national best, indoor personal best, and of course, very close to his outdoor personal best. One thing I always thoroughly enjoy is high jump coaches when someone's doing the high jump or the pole vault, and they kind of make a motion with their hands, and it's always like, one hand above the other, as if to suggest go higher. So yeah, great. Thanks, buddy. But here is the replay here of David Cusson striding in over 210 with ease, and that 215 there just catching it on his way up. So I'm sure he'll come back. It's his first failure of the day. As I was mentioning to you earlier on about the kind of progression in personal bests, or the how the high jump is such a difficult event in terms of your kind of yearly seasonal best for Cusson. Like in 2013, jumped 213, which is over this height, 212 then the following year, and then a couple of fallow years, then 205, 2 meters, 205, 185, and then back to 210, and then 217. So it is a attritional event as well in terms of injuries, because you're putting such power through those legs. It has a high injury rate in these athletes, as well as just a couple of minor technical issues. You are essentially just throwing yourself into the air over a bar situated about 2 meters in the air, so with your eyes closed. So it is quite the technical event, and you can't really see what you're doing very well except on video. So Cusson here again, though, second attempt, 215. This would be his third highest jump, and it'll be, of course, an indoor personal best. Cusson on the runway here with this second attempt. The old Abbey AC man striding purposely down the apron here, cutting in off that curve, and he was incredibly close to that. I mean, you can tell there he knows that he was only inches away from getting over that, centimeters even. See Jared Donald there in the background, we're getting ready for his 60-meter hurdles later on. He'd be hoping those hurdles are more spaced out than that, though. But Cusson, one more attempt. He's like a poker player, hoping that the card will be turned over in his favour now at the last moment. You can see him there, very, very close to that. It just kind of clips out his hips as he was coming back down. So he has the height. He won't be too far away from that 215. Last attempt here. It's been a good day so far. He's equalled his indoor personal best. Sarah Lavin there in the background as well, in the white top. With a European indoor standard. Jordan will be hoping to join her. Maybe if he gets the European indoor standard, they'll allow him onto that blue track over there. Maybe he's in some sort of zone now at the moment. Still got that glorious hair. Doing a few drills here. impressive stuff from Journal. 7 national titles, I believe, off the top of my head. Maybe even more. Maybe eight titles at this stage. Costin here with his last attempt. He's just getting himself prepared here now. Yep, Jordan, 7 national titles in the bank, and has ran that European indoor standard before. Now at the ripe old age of 32. If he's a football player, we'd just be giving him one-year contracts from here on out. Costin taking a stroll up and saying, "I'll start this bar, lads." It keeps falling whenever I hit it. Start it out. There may be a little bit of a chat about sometimes the bar can be slightly higher on one side if it's not put up correctly, so they're taking a second look at that. He's even actually getting them to measure it. Lads, there's no way that's 215. I keep hitting it. And it'll turn out it was actually 225. Oh, we were measuring it in inches, not in centimeters. Apologies. It's actually 4 meters. So it has been checked. Custom might have just been playing with them there a little bit. Check that there, will you? Give me a few more minutes. Get myself set. And here goes Custom. A third and final attempt at 215. Would be an indoor personal best, and would be his highest jump in a few years now. So last chance saloon here for Cusson, Cork man. Wonderful ready orange spikes there though. Say 216 and 215 last year, and of course that 217 personal best. So in good shape post lockdown. Here he goes. Oh, that was another incredibly close effort from Cusson. So hopefully he'll get another couple of attempts in over the next couple of weeks indoors, because he's very, very close to that 215. Of course, as we know, it's standard for European indoors. 228. So a bit off that, but he's certainly not too far away from that 215 though. See here a replay again of that. The old Abbey man striding down that runway and just clipping that there with his hips as he went over. So very, very close. So it'll be an excellent competition today. Of course, 210 there from David Cusson, the old Abbey man. Is the highest jump of the day for the men's. So 3 attempts at 215, 3 very, very close attempts as well. Jordan Lee going out at 186, but had 3 attempts at 192 and was getting closer all the time. And of course in the women's high jump, Aoife O'Sullivan going out at 170 on her third and final attempt at that, jumped 170 and 3 failures at 175. And Summer Leckie getting over at 175 at her ease, and then 3 very close good attempts, very close attempts at 180. And just to bring you those results earlier on as well from the 200 meters, Leon Reid 20.96 for the win. That one, Marcus Lawler 21.23. It was for a second on that one, and Mark Smith 21.41. And of course in the women's 200 meter sprint, Sarah McCarthy 24.68 and Catch McManus 24.98 for the first race of the day. So you can get all those results on live.athletics.ie, or if you just go on to the main page of Athletics Ireland, you'll be able to get yourself onto those results, or it's even on the YouTube channel as well. So up next will be the women's hurdles. That is going to take place at 1:25, so 20 minutes. I'm not going to bore you for 20 minutes. So we will be back to you very, very shortly with that women's hurdles.
We do health insurance, but not as you know it. Like our benefit plan, which gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits, like sports clubs, such as your local GAA club, dietitians, and fitness wearables. Helping you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Search Irish Life Health. At Irish Life Health, our benefit plan gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits like sports club membership and fitness wearables. Search Irish Life Health.
So we've got two quick interviews for you here before we go to the 60-metre hurdles, one from Summer Leckie and one from David Cusson. So Summer, a very impressive performance there in difficult circumstances. What do you think of your performance today?
Yeah, it was okay. It's good, just to even get back competing again in a competition. It's been a long time. I think Irish Seniors Outdoors was my last time, so it's good to kind of break up training a bit and get a wee bit of competition under my belt. So.
And how have you found training during the lockdown periods? Have you been able to get to a track, or has it been difficult to train normally?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not much has changed in my training. I was able to get to a track and a bits in my own gym as well, so it hasn't been too bad. So I've been quite lucky where I am. So.
Perfect. And plans for the rest of the season now? Have you got any other indoor competitions coming up?
Not that I know of yet. We're kind of just playing it by ear, just go back and keep training, and hopefully there'll be some kind of outdoor season to look forward to.
Perfect. You're very close to the European Under-23s, which will take place this summer. It's a 181 standard. Was that in your mind today when you were competing?
Not at all. I actually don't even know what the standard is. I just I jump best when I'm relaxed and don't have anything in my head to think of, so I just want to keep jumping higher. I don't really look at standards. I just want to keep improving my PB and grow as an athlete. So.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So David, very impressive performance there, equaling your indoor PB. Your thoughts on your So we'll come back to that interview from David Cusson in a moment. That was Summer Leckie, World Junior Silver Medalist, and from one World Junior Silver Medalist to two European Junior Silver Medalists. Kate O'Connor there on the left-hand side of your shot, the Dundalk athlete, and Sarah Lavin, the Emerald AC athlete. So Lavin with that European silver and is in flying form this year, 8:18 personal best over the hurdles, and has qualified for the European Indoors for the first time. So this will be her European Indoor debut. And she's up against Kate O'Connor, who won European silver in the heptathlon in Bora, Sweden there last year. The year before. It's hard to even tell the years at this stage. And has also competed in the Commonwealth Games as well, finishing 8th in the heptathlon in 2018. Lavin, cracking indoor season she's having. In terms of her personal bests, she ran 10:24, which is a personal best on the 30th of January, and followed that up with 2 runs in Ostrava in the Czech Republic then on the 3rd of February. So a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, Lavin smashing her indoor personal best, running 8:21 and then 8:18. So in sparkling form, the Emerald AC athlete. She's 49th on the Olympic list in terms of current fastest times. And obviously that is an outdoor performance, kind of weighted towards the outdoor performances, so her indoor performances will have helped, but certainly going forward throughout this year, she'll be hoping to get into plenty of races and get herself into that top 40 that will go to the Olympics in Tokyo. So she's certainly in with a shout, and if she can throw another good performance today, that will certainly help her. So Lavin on the right hand side of your shot there, focused. O'Connor there from Dundalk. St. Gerard's AC on the left, better known as a heptathlete. She'll be going in the shot put as well, which I think is on tomorrow. No, my mind escapes. It did escape my mind a little bit. But Lavin with those 8 national titles, following in the footsteps of Derval O'Rourke. She's going to pen as the next Derval O'Rourke when she burst onto the scene in the late 2000s. But now up in the senior ranks, 26 years of age, coming into some fantastic form here, into the prime form of her life indoors for sure. And she'll be hoping to throw out another fantastic performance. It is getting a little bit hot at the top there in terms of the hurdles. We've got a couple of young guns coming through as well to take on Sarah Lavin. Not here today, but certainly in the mix up against her over the last couple of years. So Lavin on the right hand side of your shot, and Kate O'Connor on the left hand side of your shot. 2 European junior silver medalists. Not often we say that here in this country. So likes of Sarah Quinn, Liliana Hora, Molly Scott, all running very well last year over the outdoor hurdles, and will be taking on Lavin in normal circumstances. But Lavin, certainly indoors this season, probably the form athlete over any sprint distance in Ireland at the moment. O'Connor, though, will certainly be trying to get into the mix, and this one would be a little bit off Lavin's level over the hurdles, but a multi-talented athlete. Both athletes now getting into their blocks. So 8:18 is Lavin's recent personal best. Can she go even quicker? Has the Euro window standard, so can really go after it today without any pressure. Into their blocks. And we've had a faulty start, which is always great crack for the athletes. And we'll see. We'll get them reset again and off again. So anyway, Kate O'Connor, multi-talented athlete, as I said, heptathlete, European junior silver medalist in Sweden, in Borås, Sweden. Eighth in the Commonwealth Games in 2018. Lavin, though, the older athlete. O'Connor, as I said, going in the shot put as well this weekend, so 1 national title to her name. Multiple fantastic personal bests. Our personal best indoors for the hurdles, though, only 8:88, so should be a little bit off Lavin today, but has jumped to 181 in the high jump. Outdoors, 14:63 shot put, a 6:10 long jumper, almost a 50-meter javelin throw. In fact, has thrown 52.92 in Borås, Sweden, for that under-23 and under-20 record in 2019, and obviously holds the indoor and outdoor pentathlon and outdoor heptathlon records. In fact, the national record for the heptathlon does Kate O'Connor, 60.93. So a elite level athlete here is O'Connor. She will be up against the fantastic Sarah Lavin here, who will be, obviously this is her solo event. It's the only event she does besides she runs a couple of sprint events as well in terms of 100s and 200s, but this is her primary focus. O'Connor, multidisciplined, master of all trades. But the grandmaster here will be Lavin, 8:18. this season so far. We'll be getting into our blocks shortly once the officials have got themselves sorted. There's obviously some minor technical issue here to be sorted out, as would be expected. These events can be difficult to get right in terms of the little technicalities around the false starts in particular. Always throw up issues at all levels. So 2 athletes have been held for a little bit longer than I suppose they might like. O'Donnell and Bean up next in the men's 60 hurdles. They're being held in the call room there at the moment. So I said O'Connor in the shot put as well. They'll be getting onto their marks here now. After a long wait. Almost 4 minutes of wait there for these athletes. So Lavin is the class of the field here. It is a micro meet, as we said, hence the small number of athletes. Into the set position, and out really strongly is Lavin. O'Connor's going well to that first hurdle, but the class is showing now, and Lavin is getting away from O'Connor here, and it's going to be quick. It's 8:21 from Lavin, and it is very quick. It is equals her second fastest time ever, so she's in very good shape and backs up a fantastic recent performance in Ostrava. I'm sure she would have hoped to go even faster today, but that is sometimes backing up a breakout performance is just as good. 8:21 from Lavin, and we'll get an idea of Kate O'Connor's performance there now as well. You can see here in the replay, Lavin just showing her class there. They both got out pretty strongly, but Lavin, the superior technician there, just barely getting over the hurdles, the touchdown time, so the time that takes her to get her foot back down while going over the hurdles, it was much shorter than Kate O'Connor. So Kate O'Connor is obviously, as we know, a multidisciplined athlete. You can see here in terms of the slow-mo, you can just see that outstretched leg from Lavin, and she's every time she goes over a hurdle, she's losing Kate O'Connor all the way, and Kate O'Connor just not able to stay with Lavin there. And a great finish from Lavin over the line. 8:21 from her, just outside her personal best of 8:18, but her 4 fastest times all coming in the past 3 weeks over the indoor hurdle. So in a rich vein of form is Lavin. So we'll get those official results for you now very shortly. And we're getting a huge amount of rain here on the outside. Some people walking by looking rather miserable. So it's great to be indoors. So O'Donnell and Behan up next. The 400 metre hurdles champion, Matthew Behan, and the 110 hurdles champion, Gerard O'Donnell. And last year's 60 metre hurdles champion, Gerard O'Donnell. Back here again. O'Donnell has ran the European Indoor Time in the past. He'll be hoping to do the same again. It's his first race of the season. So hopefully he'll get there. Just back to the high jump earlier on. I had a quick text in there from Cathal Denny, Irish Sports Journalist of the year 2019. And before we get our interview here with David Cusson, we're chatting about Blanka Vasic, who retired just yesterday. The Croatian star of the high jump. I spent quite a lot of time in Ireland going down to Stargagan, the physio down there, the physical therapist down there in Carlow, and going to mass in Carlow every day when she was there, and she retired only yesterday. So a loss to the sport, and an athlete who we probably never saw the best of, even though she won multiple medals and titles over the years. So up next, O'Donnell and Behan. In the men's 6 metre hurdles. And after that, we'll have a short break before we see them again for the hurdles again. We might just show the replay. We'll see. We'll go for a long leisurely lunch. So yes, it will be O'Donnell and Behan up next. And then they're back at 2 for the women, and then men again, and then we have another lengthy break where we remove people from the stadium forcibly or otherwise, and we'll we get the women's 1500 metres and the men's 800. So we've got Amy O'Donoghue in the women's 1500, and we have Mark English to come in the men's 800. Then a quick shot put, followed by the men's 3K, which is probably one of the races of the day. So a couple of athletes very well matched in that men's 3K. John Travers, Hiko Tonosa, and Darren McElhenney, the stars in that one. Johnny Wan is in there as well. I think he's pacing. And Connor Bradley as well of City of Derry is in there. So, as is Mihal Power. So I really let myself down there. 5 athletes in that one. Sorry, O'Donnell there getting his couple of practice strides in. He's had a tough week. O'Donnell had to move house. Moved from Santry, from his training base in Santry to his other training base in Castleknock. So it was a short trip from today. There he is, the 7-time national champ. Tall athlete from Carrick on Shannon. Representing Carrick and Shannon AC here in the blue. Said 32 years of age. 6th of May, 1988 was his birthday, for anyone who cares. Nobody? Okay. Jura, as I said, he's a 7-time national champion and has ran 7:73 in Ghent, Belgium in 2015. And qualified for the European Indoors that year. So that was a breakthrough performance from him. In 2015, only transferred over to the hurdles that year at the end of 2014 season. So O'Donnell there on your right. Behan then, one of the star performers and a shock winner last year at the National Championships over 400 metre hurdles in the white and red of Crusaders. He has ran, as we said, in the hurdles, very, very good performance in the 4 hurdles last year. 52.47 for him to win that national title. And also in the 60 metre hurdles, it's a PB of 7.93. So a little bit behind O'Donnell's best. But these two would be generally evenly matched over the last year. Rivals, as they say, being with 3 national titles. But being the younger athlete, 24 years of age, 8 years between these men. If my maths are correct, I'll get out of the calculator in a second. But 8 years between the men, and Behan has never beaten O'Donnell over the hurdles distance. So Behan to take on O'Donnell here, and Behan obviously after that national title win last year over the 400 metre hurdles will be full of confidence. A few minutes now before we kick this one off. As I said, we have a little bit of a break then before we come back with the women's hurdles again and the men's hurdles again. So these athletes will back out again later. So I'm really going to have to find some new content to talk about. I don't want to waste it all now. I'm going to have to talk about them again later. We could just make some stuff up. So Donald will be hoping to get that European indoor standard, which I have written down because I'm a professional. It is, of course, how could I forget, 780. So both these athletes, 793 is Behan's personal best, which I think he'll obviously be hoping to get close to that today. 793 in 2015, and he's ran 784, my apologies, in 2018, so much closer than one would expect. Over this distance, the two athletes will be very close to the European indoor standard if they run their best. But in this event, very, very easy to clip a hurdle and lose what may only be a tenth of a second, but it's a huge difference on the day between getting the qualifying standard and not. 780, the qualifying standard. So O'Donnell, some sort of protest type situation here. He's refusing to get onto the track. Now he's taking a moment now. We've a few minutes now before we're due to start. Behan and O'Donnell. O'Donnell, the taller athlete there on the right of your picture in the blue. Carrick and Shannon. Behan there going for a kind of Michelle Jenica type warm-up, dancing type, hypnotic movements from Matthew Behan. Maybe he's trying to put O'Donnell off. O'Donnell, statuesque. In fact, no, I thought the video had had stopped there. O'Donnell had moved in 2 minutes. He's moving now, and he's hoping to move pretty quick over the 60-meter hurdles distance. So O'Donnell in the blue and Matthew Bean in the white. Remember to share the stream with as many people as you can. And this is our sort of pyramid scheme type setup. Behan on the left in the white of Crusaders. O'Donnell in the blue of Carrick and Shannon. Two athletes that know each other very well. Raced many times over this distance. Behan now a 400-meter hurdler and moved up to that distance last year. And hoping to make a triumphant return here to the 60-meter hurdles distance. Fantastic junior hurdler as well was Matthew Behan. O'Donnell kind of coming to it later on. And getting it really well there was Behan. And O'Donnell struggling a little bit at this stage. Behan going really well. It looks like O'Donnell is done here. It is Behan over the line in this first race series here, Series 1. And Behan, first time victory over O'Donnell. O'Donnell looks like he's holding his calf a little bit. But in good form, he's still smiling. And Behan with the win in that one. We can get a time on that just yet. Hopefully O'Donnell will be able to come out again later. You can see Behan out incredibly quick there. And O'Donnell just struggling to stay with him. And that early gap made by Behan with that rapid start really was the difference the whole way. There was no loss over those hurdles for either athlete for the rest of the race. So Behan with that rapid start, just holding off O'Donnell all the way to the line. Those two athletes will come out again later. So a triumphant return for Behan. We'll just get you an exact result on that because the time quickly went off the clock here. And we reckon it's 8:02 here from David O'Shea, which would be well outside the European Indoor standard of 7:80, and outside both of these men's personal bests as well. So poor start from O'Donnell there, but or possibly just an electric start from Behan. Both athletes, men and women, will be out later. You can see here Behan just getting to that hurdle a little bit quicker. You can just see his leg rising first, and it's pretty much tete-a-tete all the way to the end. Both athletes pretty much as they were after the first meter or so. So just an electric start from Behan and very, very close. But O'Donnell will get a chance for some retribution later on the track, not in the dressing room. He's not a violent man. So we'll be back to you at 25 past, and we'll just show you a quick interview here with David Cusson, the winner of the high jump earlier on. 2:10 he jumped. So David, very impressive performance there, equaling your indoor PB. Your thoughts on your performance today?
I'm happy I got the chance to compete. I'm a little bit disappointed with the height. I felt in better shape. I felt I could go a little bit higher, but at the end of the day, it's the first competition in the season, and it's a good start. It's a good foundation to build on.
Perfect. I was chatting to Cahill earlier on. He was saying that during the first lockdown you had a difficult period in terms of to actually getting to train.
Yeah.
How's this one been?
This one's actually been a lot better. I've actually had access to a track, so I can actually train, work on technique work, strength work. So it's been a lot better than the first lockdown anyway. So I have a lot better foundation for this lockdown anyway.
Perfect. And talk us through that first lockdown in terms of what you were doing in terms of training. I know you'd been injured beforehand.
So I really only had I had a few weights at home and a soccer pitch up the road for me. So I was doing just running, and I was trying to do a few jumps on the grass and jumping over bamboo sticks. So I had a little setup with bamboo sticks. So that was kind of funny, but it worked out in the end. I suppose I got a new PB in the last season in summer, so it worked. We overcame it. Yeah, you had a brilliant season last year. 2:17,
yeah. Personal best. So do you reckon this is the approach all high jumpers should take from now on? Soccer pitches and bamboo sticks?
Didn't do me any harm. So I would say for anyone give it a go.
And today with your 2:15 attempts there, you had 3 attempts at that 2:15, very close. What do you think was catching you there just at the very end?
A little bit, just my run up needs a bit of work. It needs a bit of fine tuning. Normally it's kind of just competitions, because your mark always changes in competition. So just maybe 2 more competitions, and it would probably click a little bit more.
Brilliant. And plans for the rest of the season? I know it's difficult to kind of plan for anything these days.
Yeah, just compete as much as possible, really, and just kind of get the opportunities to maybe try and make the European Team Championships if that goes ahead in the summer. So kind of competitions like that, I kind of want to be at that kind of standard.
Perfect. Cheers. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Thanks. So back here for Series 2, Round 2 of this 60-metre hurdles here. Lavin with the win in the first one, 8:20. That's her second fastest time ever, behind that 8:18 from Ostrava on the 3rd of February. And Kate O'Connor with a personal best of 8:59, beating her previous indoor personal best of 8:88. So in sparkling form herself, but just a little bit off Sarah Lavin at the moment. Those of you who are tuning in, you might be having the same issue as ourselves, where there's such a time gap between the races, and then it just sneaks up on you at the last second, as it did on us there. Lavin here in white and green on the right hand side of your shot, and Kate O'Connor there in the black of Dundalk St. Gerard's on the left. So both athletes obviously in good shape and running well. This will be followed by the men's 60-metre hurdles between Behan and O'Donnell. Behan getting the win in the first round, Series 1. It feels like a semi-final and final type setup here for these athletes. Been put in purposely for these athletes who would tend to run these races one after the other in the course of the championships. I was chatting to John Crone earlier on. He was telling me that I will tell you that story in a moment. So O'Connor on the left hand side of your shot and Lavin on the right hand side of your shot. Lavin with that 8:20 performance earlier on, hoping to have another backup performance here. Has the qualifying standard for the European indoors. That was 8:20 in the blocks here now, and out incredibly quickly is Lavin, and she's getting away from O'Connor with every single stride here, and Lavin looking ever so much the technician all the way to the line, and that looks to be about 8:23 for Lavin. So still one of our fastest times ever, and O'Connor doing well over the last couple of hurdles, both in good form and following the restrictions. So we will get a full result on that for you in a moment. That looks to be 8:23 for Lavin. So it's still up there with some of her fastest ever times. The athlete from Emerald. Going really well over those last couple of hurdles there. Did Lavin got out very strongly, but we'll be, I'd say, reasonably happy with that performance after the 8:20 from earlier on. So her fastest times of the last couple of years, all coming within the last month. So in a rich form is Lavin. At 8:18 from Ostrava on the 3rd of February was the second race that day. But her current best times, all of which have come in the last couple of weeks, 8:18 in Ostrava, the 8:20 from earlier today, followed up with the 8:21 from the heat in Ostrava on the 3rd of February, and then the 8:23 she just ran there with her fourth fastest time ever, and then back to also this year in Wien, Austria, she ran 8:24. And you have to go all the way back to 2014 for her next best result in Sheffield, an 8:25, that breakout performance. She followed that up with another couple of performances in around the same in Athlone over the years, but certainly knocking on the door of really elite level sprinting at the moment is Lavin. As I said, I was chatting to John Crone beforehand there, and he was apologising to the ladies there in the 60-minute hurdles for the starting gun. We were saying that it is something that happens across all levels of competitions, and they're just a finicky instrument. And Sarah Lavin apparently was saying that at the European Outdoors she was at a couple of years back, that in Prague, I think 2014 maybe, that she in the race that she was in, 6 athletes were disqualified or was sent out for false starts, and then actually some of them were actually brought back in afterwards. So that was a fairly disruptive. So a little bit of waiting around to start the 60-meter hurdles isn't the most disruptive in the world, and these athletes are well used to these little problems you get at different meets. And I'm sure over the last year I've all learned to deal with the ups and downs of elite level sprinting and sprint hurdling. So we have no result for that just yet, but I'll tell you she ran 8:20 in the first round and 8:59 for Kate O'Connor. And in that men's 60 hurdles, The Series 1, Matthew Bean with the win. That one, 8 flat. And Gerard O'Donnell, 8:07. So just a little bit behind there, O'Donnell. And it'll be both athletes will be back on track now momentarily. We'll then hopefully get a quick interview with Sarah Lavin in a moment. And if we can, once we don't get Gerard O'Donnell and Matthew Bean jumping on track. So that weigh-in meet that kicked off Lavin's indoor season was it's in Vienna, Austria. In fact, I think that's just the Austrian for Vienna, is it? Called any Irish sports journalist of the year here is abusing me over WhatsApp. Yes, it is in fact just the German for Vienna. So we'll be on track again in a moment with Gerard O'Donnell and Matthew Bean. In the meantime, we're going to take a few moments before they come onto track. So we have the Series 2, the second race here for the men's 60-metre hurdles. Just give you results there from that women's 60-metre hurdles Series 2, 8:22 for Sarah Lavin, backing up the earlier 8:20. And Kate O'Connor with another PB, 8:57, so a slight increase for her there in that second round race. As I said, Gerard Donald there on the right-hand side of your shot, 7:73 is his personal best, 8:07 there in the previous round. And Matthew Bean there, 7:84 personal best, and 8 flat in the second round. So these two athletes, feels like only a moment ago they raced. Behan just edging the elder Gerard O'Donnell out on that one. And I said these two athletes will know each other very, very well. Behan will be full of confidence now after that first round. The two high quality athletes here, 780 is the qualifying standard. I think both athletes will be doing very well to get that at the moment, judging off that first race. And for both athletes it is the first race of the season, so quite difficult for them to run down towards that 780 straight off the bat. Normally need a couple of races to get the technique right over the hurdles. Very hard to come in cold on this event. You see Lavin has had several races so far this season. Obviously coming out in good form, but improving slightly all the time. So Donald there on the right and Behan on the left. Behan in the white of Crusaders, white and red of the Sandymount Club. And we're just going to see the first round of this 6-metre hurdles. See here, Behan gets out incredibly fast, very low athlete. And O'Donnell then seemed to struggle over that first hurdle. And from there on out, both athletes were kind of locked in this only very slight difference between them all the way, as we had an official almost fall over some of the infield there, which was, if you'd seen it, was quite humorous. He is okay though, just to clarify. But Behan there, so quick out of the blocks, and O'Donnell, there was that inch or two between them the whole way from the gun. Behan out incredibly fast. Obviously showing that the move to 400-metre hurdles last summer hasn't cut his early pace, his acceleration. So O'Donnell contemplating. He's got 4 minutes before we kick this one off. Both athletes having to wait, take their time before we get into the blocks. So O'Donnell and Behan both activating the muscles a little bit there. Said both these athletes know each other quite well. Out here in the outer lanes 6 and 7, as they just ensure that the hurdles are at the correct height and in position. O'Donnell, the taller athlete there in the blue of Carrick and Shannon, coached by Jeremy Lyons. Involved with the Dublin sprint group as well is O'Donnell, the coach extraordinaire himself, so making the transition into coaching, but proving that there is still a little bit of life in the old dog yet. Hoping to beat the 24-year-old Matthew Behan here over 60-metre hurdles. Being the kind of stockier athlete there on the left of your shot, 136. But another 3 minutes by my watch, so it's going to be a long time standing here with these athletes. But I think they'll probably go slightly early here. But I in full concentration here, getting themselves settled. Bit of adrenaline after the run earlier on. At least we're well used to running 2 races in a short amount of time. O'Donnell hoping to exact some revenge on Behan for that win earlier on. He'll know that Behan is starting well, so the psychological games that you be playing with yourselves after that early first round and Behan laying down a marker putting the challenge up to O'Donnell. So athletes be going into their blocks very shortly and called for their marks. So Behan and O'Donnell, has been for many years. Ben Reynolds, one of the few athletes to be in the mix as well over the last couple of years. A North Down athlete. But here today we have Behan on the left in the white and red of Crusaders, and O'Donnell in the blue of Carrick and Shannon. And O'Donnell out a little bit better this time. They are edged together all the way to the line. And Behan and O'Donnell's coming back at him. And it looks like it's going to be O'Donnell on the line. And he has exacted revenge there on Behan. And both athletes with a win today. So going home, sharing the spoils. We'll get an idea of the time on that one. I was far too excited about the actual race. I didn't look down. 7.98 from O'Donnell. So an improvement on his earlier 8.07 and moving ahead of Behan for the day. Fantastic performance. You can see here on at the start, O'Donnell holding that electric start of Behan, and just as he gets up into his shoulder then, going so well over those middle hurdles was O'Donnell. After that earlier calf cramp that he got as well, so he'd be delighted to come back and fight back as he waves to the camera, loving it. Quite the character, O'Donnell, at 32 years of age now, 7.98, and he's absolutely delighted with that. So fair play to Ger O'Donnell. Matthew Behan, he said, got the win in the first race as well. So quite a sharing of the spoils for the two athletes today. A good day out all round. So we might try and catch Ger O'Donnell there in a moment, and Matthew Behan, have a quick chat with the two lads if we can.
At Irish Life Health, we do health insurance, but not as you know it. Like our benefit plan, which gives you up to €250 back on a mix of benefits, like sports clubs, such as your local GAA club, dietitians, and fitness wearables. Helping you embrace a healthier lifestyle. Search Irish Life Health.